Alright, I'm watching Monday Night Raw live. It's just 6 minutes into the show now. And so far, Christian, Big Show, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair have all come into the ring. They've showed a recap of what happened last night on Clash of Champions, where each individual got involved, and finally Ric Flair drove the ambulance away. And they introduced Drew McIntyre down to the ring, so he's in the ring now, cutting a promo.
You were saying that to the roster before somebody retired. I remember you saying to say one thing, oh my goodness, I'm
and he's cutting a promo on Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, and how Michaels retired Flair. And he says the one thing that brings us all back together is our disdain for Randall Keith Orton. So he's talking about they all have a vendetta against Orton. And he's still the champ. Big Show's clapping. He's calling out the Thunderdome, getting the virtual reaction. Shawn Michaels thanks him for kicking Randy Orton's rear end. To paraphrase.
Showed up last night, and we know that you weren't really aware of that. But we sort of wanted to get out there and even the odds, so to speak, and get a little revenge on our part.
It's odd. Shawn Michaels says we want to get out there and even the odds, so that diminishes McIntyre a bit to say that 4 legends were required to even the odds against Randy Orton.
You know what? I already proved that he beat Randy Orton at SummerSlam. At this stage, things have gotten so personal.
Drew said he's already proved he can beat him. At this point, things have gotten personal, so he was happy for them to get involved. So he's kind of saying he's done it before, so he didn't have to prove himself. He's saying he's not diminished in that way, kind of countering what Shawn threw in about needing some help. Randy comes up on the Jumbotron, or the screen.
You've got no idea what hell is.
Says you've got no idea what hell is, so Hell in a Cell match.
I am WWE champion.
So they'll have a rematch in Hell in a Cell. He said, I'll be finished with you until I'm WWE champion, so.
Just don't get it. You just don't get it. I don't need to beg for anything. I'll be given a title match because I am Randy Orton. I will be given.
Drew jumps to the screen, and Randy says he's getting the match because of just who he is, his name, and his reputation.
That I am here today is to remind you and everyone else in that ring that there is a price to be paid when you cross the legend.
He says there's a price to be paid when you cross the legend killer. And then walks off backstage. He was in front of the garage door. He's got a luggage bag with him. Goes through the door and out. So that's all he had to say tonight, or at least that's what he wants Drew McIntyre to think. Drew says he's left the building, so they're definitely setting something up for later.
Cement my legacy. What kind of champion I want to be? The largest fighting champion, the showstopper, the most titles ever. I'm going to put my title on
Drew said he's putting his title on the line tonight.
I'm issuing an open challenge.
Open challenge.
To anyone in the back that I have not faced for this WWE Championship.
that he's not faced, so a new matchup, at least for the title. Kind of set it up in the presence of the legends and what they've done in their careers, wanting to match up to them. He's wearing like a Finn Balor leather jacket tonight, pretty tight fitting. Seth Rollins, maybe.
Somebody, please step up.
And yeah, he's wearing jeans and like dress shoe, boot type things. So Sean's got his camo cap covering his balding head. And they're all kind of giving each other hugs and walking off, so they're setting that up for later in the night. Open challenge, someone will show up. I'm guessing it'll be Keith Lee. I don't know if he's faced McIntyre, but yeah, I would think if not, Keith Lee would fit right in there based on their history and what they've just been building up the last couple of month and a half, however long it's been since Keith Lee made his debut. I can't keep track during this coronavirus age where one day is no different from the next. So now they're showing highlights of Vega versus Asuka last night at Clash of Champions. Zelina was not ready for Asuka. And then Zelina, the cheap shot at the end. Unfortunately, that match was towards the beginning of the show. I didn't see much of it because I was also cooking up a couple of chicken breasts and a bagel, and had a chicken and adobo and cream cheese and Mexican 4-cheese bagel sandwich. It was very good. And had a peach. And by that point, I had missed the Asuka Zelina match and the ladder match, and just caught bits and pieces from the kitchen. And now Zelina's backstage talking trash. Asuka shows up. And she's basically challenging Zelina to a rematch. Some random guy in a red jacket shows up, breaks things up, and that's coming up next after the commercial break. So that's what we have for the first segment of Raw. Drew McIntyre in the ring, Randy Orton on the screen, Legends also there to support McIntyre. And then a setup for Zelina and Asuka later, or immediately after the commercial. And Drew with an open challenge later tonight. So it does have a good setup so far. I don't expect Zelina to defeat Asuka. That's especially if it's a title match. But still, anytime Asuka's on TV, I'm watching. So I'm looking forward to the segment that's coming up now. And they have a good setup for the main event. So open challenge, you're always wondering who it's going to be, even though it's typically something that's going to disappoint. It's still fun to see who it is. So set things up pretty well so far. You can't complain with Monday Night Raw, September 28th, 2020. And of course, just the corporate sponsorship, blah, blah, blah. Gatorade and Kit Kat, and I forget what the first, Domino's. It's a Domino's delivery vehicle. Came down the road. I saw it out the window. Saw the little whatever you call it, sign on top of the car as it drove by right when the commercial was going on. Now it's like toothpaste or something, Sensodyne. And now Allegra. So getting to be allergy season. Zyrtec may cause drowsiness. Allegra will never let you down. And now Conor McGregor with his proper 12 Irish whiskey. He's like, that's the one that everybody knows. But I've never heard of it until I saw the Conor McGregor commercial. Butterfinger.
Yep.
Sugar and gluten and junk. Oh, toothpaste though. It's the figure you need if you're eating Butterfingers and Dominoes and drinking Gatorade all day. And drinking a Stella, so not particularly great for me. Medea coming up, apparently Halloween. Saturday, so it'll be October. Always a great month for movies. There's tons of great campy old horror movies, old Vincent Price movies, old Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing movies, like Hammer films in the 50s, and, well, Hammer 60s and 70s. Just great if you enjoy that over the top humor, like the stuff that Svengoolie will spoof, and Mystery Science Theater 3000, and Vera. I never saw Vera, but familiar with her. She played the biker lady in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. When he knocks over the biker crews, rode motorcycles, and they discuss how they're going to end Pee-wee's life. And she pops up and says, I say you let me have him first, after they've all talked about various ways of torture and death. And finally he gets a last request and dances to Tequila in some crazy platform shoes. And they let him, well, not only do they let him go, they designate him a member of the Satan's Helpers, the motorcycle gang. He's basically tremendous chums with him at that point, and they give him a motorcycle that he instantly drives into a billboard and goes to the hospital, and they give a motorcycle escort all the way there. So, and then later they make it to the premiere of his movie, the end of the movie. So it all worked out, and you just have to find that human connection with people, like Pee Wee did with the motorcycle gang, and vice versa. There's a lot of love out there that we can give to one another. So, breakthrough to that. And now Asuka is in the ring. What I mean is, a lot of people want us to embrace hate and find different ways to hate other people, or to suspect other people of hate, or whatever it may be. And just what I'm saying is, and really, I live in a small city, and I don't fully know the experiences of larger cities. I lived in Denver for close to a year. Small town, kind of small, medium, large, and seen different things, but where I'm at now, people tend to get along, and people tend to see beyond the divisiveness that politicians and media are trying to throw at us. So um, a lot of people are out there trying to stir up hate, even if they're not. When things become violent, it causes. When you go out there and you're smashing buildings, setting things on fire, you're causing more of a problem than you're helping. Like um, you're you're pushing people one way or the other, um, to where people are being more solidified in their beliefs and less likely to come to an agreement with you. And that's people that are affected directly, and people who are worried for their own families, maybe that live in those cities, and then people who see it on TV. So when you're causing all sorts of violence and um, in some cases shooting police officers, destroying businesses, small businesses, large businesses, and just writing it off and saying they have insurance, which isn't certainly is not the case. Um, for small businesses and say specific shops, like the story of the guy who had, I don't even remember what it was, but he had comic books or toys or antiques or something. I'm sure that was the case for a lot of places where things are irreplaceable, beyond just giving you a check. There are certain things that have sentimental value and historical value, which is the case with things like antiques and rare things. Not everything is a big box store. But anyway, small businesses, people may lose a lifetime, but large businesses, they say, well, certainly Starbucks or Wendy's or whatever it is, we destroy that. Certainly, it's just a corporate loss, and like they said with insurance, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that are employed there at those businesses, um, who now have to find a new job to pay their rent and support their families potentially. So it's having a big impact in radicalizing people the other way. We talk about what happened after 9/11, how the American troops went in, and even before that with the Gulf War, American troops went into the Middle East and they radicalized individuals. I think the book I've read is like something like The Road to 9/11, and it talks about how, from the perspective of the individuals in those countries, they see these American invaders changing their way of life and, in many cases, committing violence. And so that's what radicalizes people, to where you have these people when 9/11 takes place, um, even though those were all Saudi Arabians that were flying planes, and then we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan. But all that aside, you radicalize people through violence. We did that in the Middle East. That's why you have ISIS and Al Qaeda and these types of organizations. They did not just come up on their own. They did this because of American imperialism, if you will. Um, you know, the old word for it was colonialism. And I was watching Jeopardy before this, and the final question, I don't even want to go through that. It was depressing, the contestants' answers, but essentially the question was in 1945, at the end of World War II, the UN drew a new map, and on the map, 13 African nations had these two initials of one of the UN member states, and that question was much shorter. Um, but I was watching it thinking like maybe they want to trick people into thinking it's the U.S. Thinking they took over part of Africa after that. No one fell for that. Um, Immediately, it was obvious that the answer is the UK, just because of the involvement that Great Britain, United Kingdom, England has had throughout history with colonialism, and obviously some small island in the kind of North Atlantic didn't become some tremendous empire by their own natural resources. So obviously, everyone knows India was under Great Britain for a long time, Kingdom at that point, and much of Africa as well. And the other thing that popped in my mind, obviously it's the United Kingdom, but I was thinking maybe France would be the other possible answer, FR, I guess, for the two initials, because of some involvement there with Northern Africa specifically at that time. But yeah, the one contestant that was third to go into the finals said GB for Great Britain. Not correct, because it was the UK at that point. So she was on the right track, had the right idea, just didn't know um, the specific name of the country at the time. Somebody else, the next guy, said like UW or something, some made up thing. Had no clue. And then the other guy said the Netherlands, and that's the guy that won. He's pretty much running away with it. Certainly at that point, it was locked up. But I don't know what he was thinking. To think that the Netherlands would have all those territories in Africa. I mean, clearly it's the United Kingdom. You see the Queen's always covered in diamonds and earrings and everything else. And where do you think those diamonds came from? They dug them up from Scotland. They're from Sierra Leone and throughout Africa and other places. So when the Queen wears those diamonds, it's not, oh, it's pretty jewelry. It's a symbol of this is our dominance throughout the rest of the world. This is what we have assembled in our riches. And of course, the international banks, many of them started there. A lot of the globalists, eugenicists, and Oscar taps out Zelina Vega there in the center of the ring. They gave Zelina a few minutes. It wasn't a complete squash, but nothing unexpected. And it was for the title, so here Asuka is my favorite wrestler probably on WWE. It's Chris Jericho on AEW, but they have some good ones. MJF, any of them, those two specifically. I'll stop and watch whatever I'm doing. I'm walking out the door or going to the bathroom. I'll stop and come back and wait a minute and see MJF or Jericho. But yeah, Asuka. Um, Unfortunately, they kind of did her wrong after the great NXT belt that she had, and legends are now playing poker backstage, waiting for later tonight, I guess. Yeah, the Queen didn't get those diamonds from under the Tower of London, so obviously it was the United Kingdom. And you have to think about how a lot of people have used power to take advantage of other people. And, Africa is definitely a great example. Um, that's where things kind of all began, most likely somewhere in kind of the cradle of Africa. Frito-Lay, Lay's commercial. Half these commercials, they're all run by the same company, 2 or 3 companies. Pepsi, Frito-Lay, Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut. Back to Conor McGregor with the whiskey. I wonder how much they paid him to be in this commercial. Maybe he's got a stake in the brand. Proper number 12. DiGiorno. Tasty pizza. Definitely can't eat that more than once every 6 months or so. Sonic. It's maybe once every 2 years for me. If that. Once every 5 years. It's totally normal to have constipation. It's the new PSA. They replaced the vaping ones with constipation. IBS-C. You can take Linzess. Helps relieve belly pain, more frequent and complete bowel movements. Don't give it to children less than 6. If you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, get immediate help. Gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Yeah, those aren't terrible side effects. The unusual or severe stomach pain, well, yeah, certainly call immediate emergency care. If you don't have that, just have regular side effects. Proper number 12, Conor McGregor, back on the screens, getting their money's worth. Liberty, that's my cue. I do not watch Liberty commercials. Time to breathe.
Nothing without me. For everything. Look at you. Hasta pinche. Tu eyes. You are. The creepy. That's a what? The creepy. That is why. Garza. Last night. I was holding these things together. Yo soy lo mejor que tiene esta compañía. Aplaude, Mr. Greatness in WWE.
I can't stand Liberty Mutual commercials because I know they're trying to use subliminal messaging or repetition to program my mind into thinking of them constantly and against my own will. So with that little jingle that they do, I just totally avoid it, and it's still there. But hard to avoid. And Andrade has come out and he's challenged Keith, or he, I think, did an open challenge, and Keith Lee came out there. So I guess there goes Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre. He's now working the mid card with Andrade, which I expect him to get the win, but really neither of these guys, uh, both these guys should be winning. Neither of them should be getting a loss right now. But WWE likes to take guys from NXT that are on great runs and then just toss them to the mid card and give them 50-50 booking and lose all their either positive or negative reaction if they're a face or a heel. So they've done it time and again. I can't even name all the times they've done it in the past 5 years. Should be a good match though. Of course, you can certainly make probably a stronger case against having Keith Lee in the main event and having someone else go up against McIntyre, because you figure McIntyre's not losing the match, so Lee gets a loss there. Albeit, it could be some sort of DQ or something like that, but they do that all the time. So maybe they're thinking we get Keith Lee a win here to keep him strong. It's just a shame if that's what they do. He comes against Andrade. Really, Andrade with Selena. They should have pushed that. There's no need to muddy things up with the whole group and then just break things up. And then Selena's on her own, and her and Andrade have always fit together really well. Andrade getting in some counter offense, pumping up himself. Double knees to Keith Lee in the corner. Some good cracks there. Oh, Keith Lee's going up for the power bomb. Spirit bomb. It's over. So just took one quick big move from Keith Lee after that little burst there from Andrade near the end. Certainly wouldn't call it a squash, but it was not too many steps above that. So yeah, they're definitely trying to keep Keith Lee hot, but it's at the expense of Andrade. especially after Andrade was the one standing out in the ring calling someone out to fight him. He just got chumped. You'd think if you want to push Lee, I don't know who you put him up against. Here comes the Hurt Business, eating sandwiches, drinking unlabeled bottled water. Some schmuck sits down with them with a full plate earlier today. Uh-oh, he took Lashley's seat. We're going to have a Lance Archer moment here. Oh, he's sliding over between MVP and Lashley. Oh, this guy. Oh, he's like, all right, I'm getting out of here. And he's leaving his food for Lashley. So Lashley's got 2 plates. Looks good. And they're laughing. Lashley's got no drink despite having 2 plates of food, whereas they both have a full bottle of water. Unfortunately, that guy didn't get his butt kicked. That would have made the segment better. But can't get what you want, so you're stuck with Snoop Dogg drinking Corona. And Domino's. Colors. Back. Not bad. Well, since it's a commercial, Gatorade again. Oops, phone channel. See what's going on in the hockey game. It's an Apple Watch commercial. Not interested. Probably made in China by 8-year-olds or Uyghur Muslim slaves that are likely to have their organs harvested or forced to have abortions after being raped. And that's, I hate saying that, but that's a really serious thing that's happening in China right now. And people aren't paying attention to that because a lot of the things that we buy in the stores say made in China on them. So, and a lot of people in Washington are getting money. You know, their pockets are being lined, you know, with various deals on the side and their campaigns and things like that. You know, they have a lot of interests, and many of those cross over with China. So, I think politicians need to take a hard look in the mirror and determine for themselves who they're working for, who they are, who they want to be, what legacy they want to leave for their children and grandchildren. You know, they selling our country out, big corporations, and totalitarian rule. They stand for freedom and opportunity, pushing forward for each and every one of us. cares about freedom and being able to make our own path and believe what we want. You know, First Amendment stuff, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. You know, Fourth, the First, the Second. They're all um, definitely under attack right now. And, um, like it says in The Network, the movie from I think '76, there are no nations. There are only corporations. Basically, that's condensing it significantly. But yeah, the corporations, the multinational corporations that run everywhere, Nike and Apple are big ones, and many we don't even know about or know the names of anyway. Common knowledge. You could look them up. I'm not saying they're secret companies, but a lot of people, Hollywood, they have very deep ties to China and financial interests, and they want certain outcomes they consider are the best for their personal interests and not necessarily for what this country stands for, being able to be free and have our own privacy, even to be able to go inside the door of your home, and that's your home, and you don't have to worry about someone coming and knocking on the door and asking to take a look around, or drawing your blood, or checking your identification, or asking you questions. You get to walk inside your door, and that's your castle. And for most of us in the United States right now, it's a pretty crappy castle, but it's still ours. So we want to keep that freedom. We don't want people grinding us down, as Iron Maiden says. The truth is playing chess. You got like a letter from Tozawa in his black belt in the Pulp Fiction style briefcase. Oh, Tozawa was faking him out the whole time. New champ. New 24/7 champ. Akira Tozawa. Oh, the ninja hit him with the briefcase. He got the pin. Retribution. Probably Gulak, actually. Yes. Oh, R-Truth is back up. Briefcase. Gulak. How many title changes can we see in one night? R-Truth. And off he goes. And that's that for 24/7 tonight. We saw several, can't even count them. R-Truth to Tozawa, Tozawa to Gulak, Gulak back to Truth. 3 title changes, 4 championship reigns in one night. And they have a triple threat match for the title later tonight. Can you say excitement? How many championships does R-Truth have now? It's got to be over 40. I think they're also going to have a segment later backstage, since Ric Flair is in attendance. He licks R-Truth's boots. Nothing more to say about that, apparently. I thought I would have another line, but now I'm enthralled by watching Seth Rollins and the paternity results from last week. But this time, it's not Dominic. It's some teenager. The sister. You have a twin sister. Yeah, Seth Rollins is basically, they're just doing Darth Vader. Except instead of chopping off hands, he's yanking out eyes, gouging them out. Buddy Murphy is texting, presumably to Rey Mysterio's young daughter, teenage daughter. Seth Rollins is slapping his chest with his gloved hand. The hand. There it is. Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. But of course, he didn't start wearing that glove until after The Fiend. Seth Rollins in a suit is questioning why Buddy is in his wrestling gear, saying, "You don't have a match tonight." So go get a suit on. For some reason, there's a Santa Claus outfit laying behind them. It's totally random. And now he's looking at a box. Seth is. Oh, Buddy left his phone on top of the box. And now Seth has Buddy's phone. And we know Seth's history with sending certain photographs over the internet with his phone. So stay tuned for the lawsuit there, where Mysterio finally gets his comeuppance. And Seth is sent off screen for about a year in the penitentiary, sending pictures to minors. Of course, that's the storyline. Really, he'll be off with Becky Lynch on paternity leave, which is totally cool. Another medication commercial. Ooh. Fever, chills, rash. Prevnar 13 vaccine. Get this one done. It's pneumococcal 13 valet conjugate vaccine. So it's ravaging the population as we speak. Now Geico. The old crone feeding this girl broth, and she turned into a cat woman. Not Catwoman, mind you, but a cat woman. Hardee's. I remember when Brock Lesnar used to be on the Hardee's commercials. I don't know what happened to that. Too expensive. Egg. Prime rib menu. Hardee's. And now I'm watching like a Blazing Saddles spoof where the horse is keeping an ice chest in his posterior, and there's Mountain Dew inside. So it's a real thing. Samsung 5G, blah blah blah, just for men. Get your hair looking different, color-like. Don't care what my hair looks like. Probably not great. I'm not doing myself any favors. Wearing a hat. So I can make it look good if I want. Give myself a nice trim around the sides and the back, and so on and so forth. Alright, commercial. And there it is, the 2020 draft, October 9th, October 12th, SmackDown and Raw. And now Jerry the King Lawler is in the middle of the ring with a couch made of gold. He's wearing a gold and black suit, a gold and black shirt. He's got his crown in his hand, microphone. This is why I wish the Fiend wasn't SmackDown specific. I'd love to see a sequel of that. But out comes the Mysterio family. 619. All four of them are on their way out. Jerry Lawler's going to be interviewing them. And all of a sudden, Aaliyah's phone's going to go off. I'll just silence that. Phone goes off again. Hey, Aaliyah, what's going on with your phone? And then Ray's going to pull out her phone, and it's going to be Buddy Murphy, or just Murphy as they call him now. She's got a mic in hand, so she's ready to speak. So does Dominic, so does Ray. Not Ray's wife. I don't recall her name. Seth's been running his mouth.
Control his own house, so now he's trying to disrupt mine. It's obvious. Dominic and Leah, they're my kids. I am their father.
It's obvious that they are my kids. I am their father. Angie. That's her name, Angie. She looks like she's about to cry.
Dominic and Leah, I've been my whole life since the day they were born. And it really takes a truly evil and simple human being to fabricate the kind of
He called Seth Rollins an evil and sinful human being to fabricate the kind of lies that he has.
This has gone on for way too long.
It's gone on for way too long, says Dominic.
Next time I see Seth Rollins, I'm going to put an end to this.
Next time I see Seth Rollins, I'm going to put an end to this.
Seth Rollins may be lying because we didn't see any documentation last week. But what we did see is Aaliyah being upset by your word today. You said
King said Seth Rollins might be lying, but we did see Aaliyah getting upset by what you had to say, Ray. She walked out. Oh man, he's going right for it. I wish someone would ask a hard and sharp question like that to Joe Biden. I think the King's asking Aaliyah.
I am still a little bit upset about what happened last week. My parents have a certain image of me, but at the end of the day, I am 19 years old.
At the end of the day, I am 19 years old.
He came up to me and sat next to me. I didn't go looking for him.
As far as Murphy goes, he came
I don't know what to think about
next
it.
to me and sat next to me and was looking for me. So,
What I do know
after that was on
is
him.
that whoever surrounds themselves around Seth really needs to reevaluate their life choices.
Whoever surrounds themselves around Seth really needs to reevaluate their life choices. Sounds like a 19-year-old, so appropriate writing. Not necessarily good writing, though. It's fun to watch wrestling.
I know I might be the last person in the world that you want to see right now having I completely understand. But I have to tell you,
Seth is now on the Jumbotron.
and I promise you this is going to bother me.
Aaliyah is staring at him longingly. Is that the truth?
The truth is,
The truth is, one of you isn't being 100% honest. That's the look he gave.
that
Aaliyah
might not be telling the truth
might not be telling the truth in regards to how she feels about my disciple Murphy. Why would you believe me? You don't have to believe me.
You can see it for yourself.
You can see it for yourself. He goes for the phone. Oh, and somehow he's got a screenshot of the text message conversation, September 26th of 2020. Hey, I just wanted to apologize again. Thank you. I hope you're doing good. Didn't read the whole thing. Apparently it was happy birthday.
The truth hurts, Ray. It hurts me too. But I promise you.
Ray looks really pissed. Murphy's not like Seth. She's out of here. Murphy needs to pull up in his Harley right now. She needs to hop on and go straight to the back. That would be cool. Instead of her just walking off and Ray tripping over the ropes. Now Ray's chasing after her with his wife in tow. Seth's playing Flappy Birds on Buddy's phone. Buddy's like, hey, what you got my phone for, bro?
What are you so upset about? You've done this to yourself. I didn't do
You did this to yourself, says Seth.
You're in the room. Oh, you think you can hide things? Is that how that works? You think that the truth isn't important in this relationship? Is that how you feel? You should be my disciple.
Seth says you think truth isn't important in this relationship, so apparently that means Seth is privy to everything that Murphy ever says to anyone, ever. So full control over his phone and such. He's got to check it every 2 hours on the hour. And Dominic comes back and attacks Murphy. Seth's kind of snickering in the back, and yeah, go for it. Out comes Natalia and Lana, holding hands. Lana's wearing her typical outfit, but in the colors of Natalia, black and pink. And we go to commercial. So I'm going to make myself some food.
Malicious tribal chief at the head of the table. Taking savage royalties now limited. If Roman Reigns was willing to stick this to his own blood, what will the Universal Champion be capable of doing to everyone else? Plus, Sasha Banks is in here! After a measure of confidence, the girls started Bailey's relentless reign next. Sasha is staying in your eyes! Friday Night SmackDown, live this Friday, 8/7 Central, only on Fox.
Nothing can do this.
Not even a pillowcase for the candy.
This is a pillowcase for the candy. Except it's a cup for the candy.
The trick-or-treat blacks.
Control.
It's official. National Coffee Day is now National Dunkin' Day. Celebrate with free medium hot or iced coffee with any purchase on September 29th.
This country was not built on white collar. It's built on blue collar. Hard work. Hard work means every day. Get it right. It's so iconic, you can just sit on the shelf. If it's missing, you'll know it. Your family, mine.
Heading into retirement, you need to follow your passions. SmartCare's hybrid life insurance
hockey
long-term
game.
care product. It protects
It's
you
on
no matter
commercial.
what. Long-term coverage should you need it. Top advisor. Also named
For Bright House IUL. Now Jägermeister. The Meister skates to where the puck would be. I don't get that. Wendy's pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger. That does look good. Be something I would try.
With the Capital One card, unlimited
Capital One.
purchase at debt.
Don't pay us back every month. Our interest rates are insanity. But when Jennifer Garner says it, it comes across far less menacing. Papa John's, chicken taco, and cheeseburger pizzas. There's pepperoni and mushrooms. It's not enough.
So go away. Download it now. Police, fire, or EMS. Take a deep breath. Here, stay with me.
Everything's a commercial at once. NHL's hawking Pepsi. Still have to look up. I've heard it's like an urban legend that Pepsi used like aborted fetuses. It's part of their flavoring. And I'll look that up. See if there's anything about that. And I heard it on the streets at some point. Tampa Bay up 1-0 at the first intermission. I kind of hope Tampa wins just based on what a good team they are. But not tonight. I want to see Game 7. Chick-fil-A used to be cool. Dominic and Murphy later tonight. No interference from anyone. Just one-on-one in a steel cage. Not a steel cage.
Lana and I will stand out here all night if we have to. Until Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are stripped of those tag team titles. Those tag team titles that are rightfully ours, Lana. They're our titles.
Yeah, they need to be handed to us. Actually, now when I think about it, the whole reason why we have the women's tag titles is because of Natalia and I. Not to mention that we are celebrities, social media influencers.
Yeah.
We have millions of followers, so we want the tag titles right here, right now.
Ladies, excuse me just a second. Calm down just a second. Listen, we just can't strip Nia and Shayna titles. I can assure you.
Now this guy, Adam Pearce, says we can't just strip Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler of the titles, but we can give you both a match right now against Mandy Rose. She showed up on Raw. So that's an urban legend that has now been debunked. Mandy Rose has been traded to Monday Night Raw. To Otis's great chagrin. And she's got Dana Brooke with her, who used to be good pals with Bayley as of a month or two ago. Now she's teaming up with Mandy, who's got a shortened haircut after Sonya Deville's attack. Check the food. You can do it, Dana. This is your time.
But this tag team match is underway. SmackDown's boss is Raw's game. Remember the news that broke earlier on today, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax were not medically cleared to keep all of their titles last night as tag team champions. However, Jax and Baszler are not being stripped of the titles. They will defend them somewhere down the road against Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott once Jax and Baszler are medically cleared. We're going to find a new rifle. Oh! And a hook kick to the face of Natalya.
Nia and Shayna will defend their titles sometime down the road against Ruby and Liv, the Riot Squad, minus Sarah Logan. So just Ruby and Liv. Squad. No, that's taken. Yeah.
Best of all time. Oh! Hit to the face by Lana. Great setup by Natalya. Watch this one more time. Lana on the move. Oh, great setup by Natalya. They're very believed in cheap type people. I mean, they're just visualizing how they feel they should be viewed by the rest of the league. Of course, we come out here and say, well, we're celebrities and we're social media influencers. We should be handed the women's tag team championship. Going on today with the news off first both via social media, Lana spouted off saying Nia and Shayna can just not show up for work. And Natalya and the Pope don't get British tag team title opportunities. Lana clearly did not understand. Oh! Oh, Mandy Rose! What's that? Turn around! Lana! And it was the involvement of Rose that drew the attention of the referee. Caught by Lana! And a kick to the face down for his face to tag. Here comes Rose. Mandy Rose now.
We are now 1 hour and 15 minutes into this show, and still no slapjack. And that's really disappointing.
Back with the rigger. Look at that. Big clothesline. Natalya involved in this matchup. Now Lana went for a kick. Mandy Rose on the road of a pop knee strike. Covered by Rose. Andy Rose and Dana Brooke victorious.
You did it, Dana.
You couldn't ask for a better outing for Dana Brooke and Andy Rose.
Dana Brooke.
A welcome addition to the Monday Night Raw Women's Division with all the expensive line talent. I love it. I'm still trying to work things out in the both realms, but happy to debut by a brand new champion. Very much so. We both got some. We got some. On Monday Night Raw. We're talking about things that have happened at the expense of superstars. It's something Aleister Black has been exceptionally upset about as of late. Aleister Black was the reason that his eye was punctured by Murphy and Seth Rollins.
Oh, man.
Because of people like Kevin Owens. We don't see this actually last week. It was the Kevin Owens show featuring Shane McMahon, Dominicato, and Braun Strowman. Where it collided in Raw Underground with
Aleister Black's eye was punctured because of people like Kevin Owens. Keep that in mind. And so he decides to puncture Kevin Owens' testicles in the very same manner as they show him yank him into the corner pole. Points at his eye now backstage in the dark.
Man, right, Kevin? You should claim to be a good man because I always thought that good men don't let bad things happen. But there it is. You thrive in a system where you can manipulate the viewers. One sentence. One sentence for everybody to forget and forgive that you have a knack for betraying people that rely on you. I'm sorry, Alice. I couldn't do that. I was with my family. Giving family to me was cruel lessons from my own father. He's a cruel man.
His own father, Aleister's, was a cruel man.
Talk to your son yet about your betrayal?
Did you talk to your son yet about your betrayal? Let's make it personal.
At the end of the day, I don't really think it matters that much how many people forget and forgive you for all the things that you've done. Because
Oh,
Kevin,
takes off his eye covering, and his eye's gone completely black in the pupil. He's still got the white of his eye, just the black pupil.
it's KO.
And here comes KO. He's either fighting Black, or Black will come out and interfere.
Aleister Black has full intentions for the audacious Kevin Owens after their history has unfolded this past summer. This match coming up next is presented by Domino's.
The calamitous Aleister Black has cruel intentions for the audacious Kevin Owens, says Tom Phillips. Fighting each other next. Still 1-0 Tampa, 4 minutes into the second. Thank goodness it's not a commercial. TV reception is very poor. It's gibbering out on me. But it's channel 2. And every channel below channel 45 does this. Pretty much all the time. They just jim jams in and out. Especially if I'm using the internet. Or like any electronics. If I shut everything off, it usually comes in decently clear. But Raw, luckily, is on channel 45. That's the first channel that comes in decently. without any concern. But yeah, the NHL game's not coming in great. Sometimes I jump to 32 to see what's going on. Fox News, just in case, there's any doctors on there exposing the coronavirus, stuff like that, as a bioweapon. It was released from a Chinese laboratory. Whether intentional or unintentional is a matter of conjecture. But it seemingly was discovered by a Saudi scientist in 2012 and then made its way from Winnipeg to Wuhan sometime in probably 2018, thanks to Qiu Zhongzhu or something like that. I forget her name. The scientist that worked at the BSL-4 lab in Winnipeg and later was removed and investigated by the Royal Mounted Canadian Police after having visited the Wuhan lab 4 or 5 times between 2017 and 2018. This took place in July of 2019. She was kicked out. But, could have just come from a fish market down the road from the Wuhan BSL-4 lab, which was funded by the NIH and the NIAID, under the direction of Anthony Fauci, after gain of function was considered too risky to study here in the United States. So, we funded the Chinese programs to study gain of function from bat coronaviruses to humans. So essentially, mutating these viruses to see what would happen if they were to jump to the human population. Because naturally they very rarely jump from an animal to a human. In some cases, they're manipulated by humans, looking into typically bioweapons. Oh, score lightning. But yeah, they manipulate them typically into bioweapons to see what would happen if they jump. So they put in various insertions into these viruses, such as like an HIV insertion, something like that, or SARS. Work on different variations to study transmissibility, lethality, things like that. So they're typically patented as well, and sometimes by the United States government. So it's a rabbit hole you can dive down a little further into if you are interested in that kind of thing. And everything I just said is verifiable. And you can Google search these various things and find all the information that I've just said. I'm just simply mentioning a few different pieces, and everyone can draw their own conclusions from that. Sometimes Occam's razor applies, such as, with the Kennedy assassination, things like that. Back to Raw. Black and Owens.
honorable things in life, especially when it comes to self-preservation. Come on, you're I'm sorry. I'm not really awful. So get on for the Bristol house and don't help out Alistair Black and run it out. That's what you say. I mean, obviously Alistair Black built that. Hey, it's just so Alistair Black. Whoa! So bitter over everything that happened. Feed himself. That's Seth Rollins. And he needed a target to take it out. Time for bitterness. Time to get the standing right in front of Alistair Black. Alistair Black, one of the most dangerous strikers in all of sports entertainment today. Taking it to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens might not be able to defeat Alistair Black. Alistair Black is not done. Because you know it's just all steps to been maniacally bringing the Seth Rollins ever since he dubbed himself the Money Iron Messiah. A man who fought against it.
The maniacal reign of Seth Rollins. I don't know if you call it a reign if he has no titles and he's just continually fighting against the Mysterio family.
This is Kevin Owens' style of match. Not pretty. Definitely less big. Oh! For Kevin Owens, plenty of experience like that. His background before champion. Back up right now with Alistair Black.
Life is far too short to skimp on cream cheese on a bagel. When you make a bagel, just load it up. If you like it, if not, then enjoy the bagel. But I pull no punches when it comes to cream cheese on my bagels. Much like Asuka pulls no punches and she dominates her opponents. This is a David's bagel, which I've never heard of before. I got them like a week ago. 5 of them for $2. I've eaten now 4 of them, mostly in sandwiches. One with ground beef that I browned in a frying pan in a skillet in butter and sauteed in some onions with it. I just jammed as much of that as I could in the middle of one of these bagels with this cream cheese applied liberally, and then also Tillamook Mexican 4 cheese on top of the ground beef in that to melt a little bit. It was excellent and decadent. And I had a hamburger to go along with that. I just cooked at the same time to use up a little more of the beef. And then last night I had 2 kind of chicken tender breasts, like smaller, like half chicken breasts, I guess. And I fried up with a little bit of adobo seasoning, garlic. Same with the beef, not the adobo, but the garlic. And salt, Himalayan salt, pink, whatever difference that makes, probably nothing. But yeah, I got that nice and brown on the outside, and then I pulled apart that chicken, stacked it up on the exact same sandwich. Had that. It was excellent. I had a few extra onions that I left raw, white onions. Ate those along with the other piece of chicken. It's tremendous.
That's why we use colors, flavors, and preservatives from artificial sources for new Go ahead, way back. There's 9 down. They have trailed in the game. They're trailing 2-0.
Still 2-0 Tampa. Now exactly halfway through the game, just about. Cream cheese is really an unsung champion. Do a lot of good things with it. Less mess than regular cheese in some respects. You just spread it right on the toast or whatever.
Inside WWE Thunderdome. This was moments ago here between Owens and Black. How's the Black? Suffering from the offensive repertoire of Kevin Owens. Word is that now the Black is really straight to the damage of the Black. Oh, he's a point of Kevin Owens. Taking Kevin Owens off his feet. The attack of that has become a focal point throughout the Black.
Good dessert. With just a couple pieces. Save the rest for later.
This is the resilience of cows. They'll just keep fighting. Actually, this game must be stood down. Kevin Owens kicked it out. Get it. Get it out of the box. At least you're talking back to the
Black and Owens are trading kicks.
Person to walk down there, Alistair Black. Into the midsection, playing the difference from the left leg of Kevin Owens, but he's fighting through the pain. Alistair Black now gets that there, takes down here on Owens. On the move. Oh, my shame to the chest. Cover. Kick out by Owens. And so really wisely, Alistair Black goes for the throat. He's good. I mean, that you can. I mean, you might have got those quick ones now. I would just got into this throw with Kevin Owens. And like Alistair Black trying to slow down Owens any way he can. What about there's already been here inside?
Good thing I'm just having about half of it. what I'll finish off my caloric intake with. I have a few hunks of onion later. Should have put some of that on my bagel. Kevin Owens wailing away on Aleister Black. But he's got a bad leg, highlights the announcers. Oh, Owens off the top rope, knees up by Black. Now he's going to hit him with a pump knee strike. Kick out at 2. Just checking my text messages. I sent my brother and a few other people the song "The Klansman" by Iron Maiden last night. It's a good, very strong lyrically song about freedom, applicable to the situation here in the country now. And it was a later version, a live version with Bruce Dickinson, because he's just, in my opinion, so much better than Blaze Bailey. Aleister Black struck the ref, and then Owens hit him with a star. Added insult to injury. Yeah, he texted me back. Said, "You want to hear a good song?" I said, "Pass the Dutchie" by Musical Youth. And I said, that reminds me of a Wedding Singer. And then he just replied and said it reminds him of Pineapple Express. Both very good movies. Very enjoyable. Oh, elbowed the ref right in the gut. And he immediately, he was keeling over as death was called for the bell. Hurt Business picking on Mustafa Ali, Apollo Crews, and Ricochet. Oh, Lashley says your appointment's been booked. But all the while, hanging above them, the ominous specter of retribution. Commercial. The Hurt Business, they're taking a a book out of Bray Wyatt's page. 1 week they're hurting, the next week they're healing. Not quite, but they're a face when they're the only people on the roster with the balls to go after Retribution. But then I guess they're a heel the rest of the time. So whatever you want to tell me.
People everywhere with type 2 diabetes are waking up to what's possible with Redoxis. Redoxis works differently than any other diabetes therapy to lower blood sugar in all 3 of these ways. Increases insulin, decreases sugar, and slows food. The majority of people taking Redoxis lower their blood sugar and reach an A1C of less than 7. People taking Redoxis lost up to 8 pounds. Redoxis isn't for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Don't take Redoxis if you or your family ever have regular thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Redoxis and get medical help right away if you want severe stomach pain or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Redoxis because the pain increases local.
When it comes to Ribelsis, serious side effects could include pancreatitis. Sounds like a good dessert if you ask me. Creepy commercial. It's some really dry, hard beef jerky. Back in the room. Just a little bit of meat to go with the protein from the peanuts. I'm not eating particularly healthy tonight, but just a few of the Utz pretzels left. Cannonball! Simon, what an unsung hero. Stand-up just sucks, but on Cannonball, yeah, he cuts his way. He's got it. He's got something special. Really. So does that, who's that kind of froggy-looking male host, Mike? He's sometimes most of the time he talks too much, but he's got a little something about him. And then, of course, Roxy is just a total rock star. So now we have a 24/7 title match. R-Truth, Drew Gulak, Akira Tozawa, triple threat. I want Simon from Cannonball at ringside on this match to interview whoever wins, and then Simon can pin him to win the title, and then immediately lose it back. Or no, next week lose it back to R-Truth on the set of Cannonball. I don't know why they don't pay me to write for them. These things come so easily to me. Tozawa goes for the pin on Truth. Gulak pulls him out of the way. He goes for the pin on Truth. Tozawa pulls him out of the way. They go face to face. Truth breaks them both up. Double clothesline. Gulak, 1, 2, oh, kick out. Oh, Truth goes for the pin on Tozawa. Not yet. The opportunity of a lifetime later tonight against Drew McIntyre. Open challenge for the title. There's no logical explanation for this, but for some reason this match makes me want to watch Spaceballs. I'll repeat, no logical explanation. Oh, we're going for a double submission on Truth. I want to see a backstage vignette, or not backstage, but just a vignette of how Tozawa get out of the belly of the shark. Did he use a ninja sword? Did Retribution come and save him? Is there even a shark? Maybe it was a dolphin that was helping Tozawa. He's learned to talk to animals now. Oh, they wiped out the lady ref. Oh, she's fine, but she's holding her back. High drama. Oh. Gulak's going for the submission on Truth. Oh, Tozawa's going up top. Oh, Truth right out of the way. Tozawa hits Gulak. Truth's going to hit Tozawa, my guess, and then win. Oh no, Gulak. Oh, Truth got him. He's stacking him up. Gives him the attitude adjustment. Stole it from his best friend, John Cena. Pins Gulak. Game over. '41-time champ. Man, where's Renee Young been? Oh, $2 Chuck. I like these pretzels so much I almost just bit my own finger off. Mandy, oh, they're an official tag team. I said that earlier, but I didn't believe it. Dana has always been there for me. Mandy is such an inspiration to Dana. We fight back.
We know the Riot Squad's next in line for those women's tag team championships, but we will be watching. And whoever wins that match, we're coming for those titles.
They want next after the Riot Squad for the titles. Come on, Dana Brooke. And then they look over at Dominic for some reason. Weird transition. They finished the interview and then all of a sudden they all went. And there was Dominic, stretching, limbering up, and now on the Gatorade. But who needs Gatorade when you got pretzels and Stella? To quote To Kill a Mockingbird. Or maybe it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I think. Sounds right. Streetcar Named Desire. Ah. That was the one with Ned Flanders, I believe. And Marge Simpson. She of the cotton candy blue stacked hair. And one smoking hot bod. That's what I always thought when I saw Marge Simpson. Man, what a bod under that green dress. That Nancy Cravner, whoever. Mm-hmm. Also Otto. I always wondered what Otto looked like under the Metallica t-shirt and the jean shorts and the headphones and cap. Yeah, he was a bus driver, but I think he kept himself in pretty good shape. Skinner, not so much. Mm. Here's that vaping. If you vape, you're sucking in lead and chromium commercial. So why not have a water filter commercial on after that, you know? Let's get the brain toxin fluoride out of the water. That might help. Keep kids' brains working right. Keep them from hitting puberty at 9 years old. No, just stuff them full of Papa John's. Even though we canceled Papa John. If Papa John's not safe, who is? That's what I want to know. Who's next? Ronald McDonald? The Burger King? Oh yeah. He's a symbol of the white male patriarchy. That's for darn sure. Great Britain is much better. They have a monarchy. You ever see the pictures of like British royalty? They all look like Sloth from the Goonies. You know, not to that extent, but their eyes are either really close together or really far apart, or like one's higher up than the other. Everything's off, and you're like, oh, they're just clearly inbreeding because they believe in like this eugenic idea of a superior race, so they have to just keep it within the family. Doesn't work that way. But here comes Buddy Murphy. He's ready to face Aaliyah or Alyssa, Aaliyah. Aaliyah. I was right the first time. Actually, I was wrong all 3 times. He's facing Dominic. He's not facing Aaliyah. Flashback to the random guy in the red jacket breaking up the fight. Right, that's enough prep. Save myself 2 crumbs for next time. The debate. I can't forget that tomorrow is Tuesday Night SmackDown. The WWE Hall of Famer takes on the 47-year champion. Not a real champion, of course, but like a 24/7 champion. Like, oh yeah, he's there 24/7, but you know, is he really there? Just watch for a few minutes and determine it for yourself. Not cut out snippets. Just a few minutes consecutively. 10 would be great. And you'll agree with the rest of us that have seen it and understand what's going on and what they're trying to pull on all of us, the American people. And you lose respect for people who think you're stupid, who think you're a complete idiot, and they won't level with you on the most basic things, the most important things in this grand concept of a representative democracy, a republic. And then you think back to, a year ago and wonder who was it that they pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and everyone said, no, not interested. Sounds like some charlatan televangelist. We're having none of it. And now that's the vice presidential candidate. And that was the plan from the beginning. If she couldn't do it on her own, and she couldn't, we'll find our own way. So, that's where we're at as a republic. A joke and a shill. And a media that says it's a shoo-in. When it is the other way. That's pretty obvious to anyone that's paying attention. The TV heads. Whatever it tells me, whatever the mothership wants me to receive, I will accept. Take me to your leader. Bend me over. Yeah, of course I'm watching wrestling, but I don't watch anything besides that, really. I'm flipping back and forth between the hockey game. Curious. No. Intermission 2-0. Lightning coming close to closing it out. Dominic Mysterio is obviously very fond of his family. Says Samoa Joe. Buddy with a big high knee on Dominic. Does Murphy want to be in the good graces of Seth Rollins? His little sister, Joe. Just trying to protect. They're just trying to protect Aaliyah. It's difficult. Anything with Aaliyah in it is a difficult sentence to say for me. This is why Raw has such bad ratings. Because I'm 2 hours into a 3-hour broadcast. And I'm just sitting on the floor now. I can't even sit on the couch. I'm ready to go to bed. Dominic and Murphy are going for blood sport right now. Their whole lives and family names are on the line. I'm just like, okay, it's after 10. What do you think I am? 19, drinking Mountain Dew out of the rear end of a horse? Eating Doritos? Oh, thank you. Doritos are good, though. But it's been years since I had a Dorito. They are tasty. I want Doritos. Isn't it funny how that works? Maybe if I think of something else, I'll forget about Doritos. Carrot sticks, carrot sticks, carrot sticks, carrot sticks. Now I want carrot sticks, but where the heck am I going to go for carrot sticks? 10 o'clock at night. Without missing any of Raw. Nowhere. Out comes Ronda Rousey. Oh wait, out comes Aaliyah. Dominic, get out of here. I gotta handle this. Please. He's being polite about it, Aaliyah. You have to do it. Dominic, T-Bar, roll up. Murphy. Oh, 3. Okay. We just gonna be seeing that every night now, or we get a 2 count that the ref counts to 3? He's not like Seth, says Aaliyah. Dominic's beating him with the kendo stick.
I'm doing this for our family, to protect our legacy. Have you not seen what he's done to us, to our family?
Have you not seen what he's done to our family? Aaliyah. Get with the program, sis. Oh, she slapped him in the face, the cheek, even. Weird. You don't see that too often. Anyway, here comes the Hurt Business. I hope they hurt someone. Maybe we'll see Slapjack and T-Bar and Mace. Hey, Pops. MVP says, hey, Pops, and throws the water at a old arthritic janitor mopping up the hall behind him. It's that same janitor from years ago that somehow fought in a match, as I recall. I can't remember the storyline, but poor old janitor had to fight in a match. Anyway. Yeti.com. I can't play guitar at all. Don't get confused. I just like to play around with different things to see if they sound any good, but I don't really know any like actual notes or anything. And this is like the worst thing you've ever seen on the internet, so let's just jump back to Raw. I was looking at the Stanley Cup. We're about to start the third period. Sounds terrible. Oh, shoot. Yes, Lynn's ass. I figure if I make it look like my hands are doing things, then it must be good enough. That's all I'm after. It's just good enough, adequate. At least something that appears to be adequate may not actually be. But, you know, if you're deaf and you're just looking at me, you might think I'm playing like Stairway to Heaven or something. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven. The Hurt Business. Bobby Lashley, champion in the first ever Hurt Business versus Apollo match. Never to be seen again on television. Oh, Ziggler's doing a stand-up routine for some joker backstage.
No idea who Dolph Ziggler could be referring to, but we know that someone has to step up.
We haven't seen Raw Underground. It's 10/11. There's no Raw Underground. Here comes the Hurt Business.
MVP and United States champion Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Business. Rock was here on Monday Night Raw. The Hurt Business have been going their way around messing with some staff members and catering, taking advantage of the janitor, all these sorts of situations. But the Hurt Business don't really care about anyone. Here comes WWE. And it seems like ever since Bobby Lashley retained the United States Championship last night, Clash of Champions, the Hurt Business thinks they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. Well, and let's be honest here, they've done whatever they want.
Sorry, did I fall asleep? Did I miss the Hurt Business versus Apollo Crews and Ricochet again and 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 knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting? some other matchup. It's got to be something else. Thank you, MVP. Said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over. So let's do something else. Yeah, that's a challenge for Apollo to fight him again, maybe?
And it's for that reason that we agreed to send him to Hurt Business Boot Camp so that he doesn't make those kind of mistakes anymore. Like you.
Cedric has been sent to Hurt Business Boot Camp.
That you keep making step into the Hurt Business. Now we told you. I told you. We were going to repo that United States Championship and that you would never see it again. It looks better on me anyway. It absolutely does.
That title looks better on Lashley. See, yeah, it's like 10:15. I'm done. I'm out of energy. Can't keep it going for 3 hours sitting here by myself. Like 2 hours is about the max I have for anything.
But that didn't happen. No, not on our watch. You stepped to Lashley. Lashley took your championship, and
all right.
You got dropped.
That's all I have for now.
And you stepped to the Hurt Business yet again expecting a different result, but you know what the result's going to be tonight? You're going to get dropped.
You're giving Lashley some microphone work. Keep saying you're going to get dropped, or you got dropped. Some derivation of the phrase. Here comes Ricochet. And Apollo. This fresh new matchup. Wake me up when Slapjack shows up.
There's one more addition to this team. And Mustafa Ali! This looks for the honor of the Hurt Business earlier tonight. This Mustafa Ali was seen coming out of the Hurt Business locker room without them knowing. And now this six-man tag team matchup is about to take place. The Hurt Business screwed Justified. I mean, if somebody was in my locker room, I don't know about it. I'd have some questions. Oh, come on, man. You know the Hurt Business is looking for. Oh, and look at Ali! Ali and Ricochet! On a strategy off the bat from Ali, Ricochet, and Close! When they retired, I've seen Hurt Business take advantage of people. Well, they took out MVP engagement, got out to the United States champion, and Lashley, the powerhouse of the Hurt Business. And it is chaos at ringside. Oh, the Hurt Business was going to let that go off. Too much longer. And gentlemen, I believe this matchup officially got underway. Oh, sure. Oh, we're underway, Tom. The physicality, that's for sure, Joe. But Lashley, all tied up with a... Oh, my God. Not good.
Retribution!
Here. The Hurt Business ready to fight on Raw.
What's so exciting about this show is our humble guest star.
Commercial.
I still remember acting with the
They're waiting for the commercial to come out.
difficult episodes to do.
Where'd my hat go?
I had the honor of meeting that ass during the first career success.
Can't miss the Retribution. Slapjack, T-Bar, Mace, 2 others. They are Retribution, and all the others, the ninjas. They don't get paid enough by Tozawa, so they have to supplement their income by working for the Retribution. Dallas still down 2-0 with 15.5 to go. This could be Tampa's final. Shots on goal 25-9. Yeah, Tampa's been a tremendous team the last couple of years. They just got shocked last year, but I had a feeling they would win it all this year. Just because when you have such a strong team, you have a chip on your shoulder at that point. You don't feel like it's handed to you, you know. But they're doing it without Stamkos, so they're a strong team. They're a team that could, they could have easily won last year. It could be doing back-to-back like the Penguins a few years ago. Really strong team. Possession time is almost equal, even with 2-0 and 25-9 shot advantage for Tampa. Masked people on TV. Oh, it's an anti-Biden.
President Trump is the right person for this nation's economy. This is a president that has kept his promises. I think he's about the only politician that seems to get it.
I will vote for President Trump because he cares about people like me.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
DJT 2020. Stop the communists and the globalists. Make space great again. Stop Bill Gates. Stop Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth II of England, who once said, "If I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to help contribute something to the world's problem of overpopulation." Slight paraphrase, but pretty close. But yeah, that's what he said. So yeah, just keep on doing whatever the establishment tells you. They are our leaders. They want to be our friends. Yeah. Thunderdome, Hurt Business, all new wait, where's Retribution? They flashed the lights, their names popped up on the screens, they got rid of all the fans, what a heel move, just cut all their feeds, and yep, went right back to the rest of the match, so, Skittles.
Making a lot of people feel pretty uncomfortable backstage here. It was Apollo Ricochet and Apollo Crews who stepped up with a Hurt Business and challenged over this match. In the Hurt Business defense, I mean, they're dealing with great staffers who ended up being they see a straight face walk the other. In the Hurt Business, they got out of the You're talking about this stuff on the Hurt Business locker room. Oh, there goes our way to Ricochet. All the Hurt Business trying to do. Oh! Throw their weight around and intimidate people. Talk about throw weight around. What a German suplex. By Cruz the last one. That leaves Cruz in there with MVP. Including the last match. All Cruz, one of those men alongside Ricochet and Mustafa Ali, who refused to be intimidated. Oh, my Hurt Business. Apollo Crews. Oh! The front cross body takes down MVP. Yeah, Ricochet on the apron now. Apollo Crews desperately needs to make the tag. Ricochet is extended. He's extended. He wants that tag for that. And Mustafa Ali up on the apron as well. Options with Apollo Crews. MVP's got to think about a tag as well. Right into the corner. Tag is made. Benjamin to meet Ricochet. Oh. Ricochet doing a Ricochet done, taking to the skies and attacking Shelton Benjamin. Former United States champion, North American champion. Ricochet with a whistle off the ropes.
There was a Skittles commercial, so I remember I had like this big, huge jug of Skittles that I bought at Sam's Club like a year ago, for like $6. 72 ounces of Skittles or something. And they're like long expired now. But you know, these things never go bad. They taste exactly the same as they did the day I got them. So lunch through a few of these. I've only had like half an inch worth, so still got tens of thousands of Skittles remaining, which I'll need simply for the caloric intake when the food supply chain totally breaks down in like 3 months. So I should probably conserve these, but I said the grape and the lime and the red. It's not even lime anymore, is it? It's freaking green apple crap. But green, purple, red. Red's the best. Purple's great. Green used to be. Used to be. I think these are some weird crap now. Got green apple. What's wrong with lime? Too close to lemon? Okay. They're both good. People like lemon and lime. People drink lemonade. People drink limeade. People drink grape juice. They don't drink green apple juice. You know, that's like a Halloween lollipop with caramel in the middle. So, Skittles, man. Retribution. 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 Another Skittles ad. Between commercial and ad, and I said CAD, but you got me. Ali going up top. Going for the pin on MVP. Retribution. Come on. 450 splash. Oh man. Ali gets a pin on MVP. Extending this feud out another 3 months. Yeah.
Beautiful 450 splash to put a dent in the dominance of the Hurt Business. I respect Mustafa Ali and Apollo Crews and Ricochet for stepping up to the Hurt Business and being successful in the process. Oh, I know you're on the road. Don't hold a lot of money.
Skittles are a terrible choking hazard. I'm shocked more children are, don't choke to death from eating Skittles every year. You'd think you'd see that in the statistics. Ric Flair just won the big game of poker. He's bringing in all the chips, which he's going to take straight to the bar. All right. And we leave the retirement home to go to the Hardee's commercial. See if Dallas is putting up a fight at all. 10 minutes to go. Still 2-0.
Now, he then leaves it back across. Linda ahead. Back in the hot of the third period. Our boy Cook. This of incredible action. First, game. So here's the first. Back in again. Trouble there for Linda. Get it right back. And can be worked out by Hastings. Gave it back across.
Including allergic reactions, liver problems, and liver failure. Life-threatening side effects include lactic acid buildup and severe liver problems. If you have a rash and other symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Dovato and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems, including hepatitis B or C.
Well, I don't have HIV, so I don't have to worry about an HIV medication. So, go back to hockey.
And the stick by Kawhi is able to harm's way his city and was get that to the net. So pretty good here by the Dallas Stars here.
Straining and bullying again and again. No way. More exercise, more water, and more fiber is the only way to manage it.
Is it?
Maybe you think it's occasional constipation.
Maybe it's not.
It could be a chronic medical condition called IBS-C. And time to say yes to Lindsay.
And back to the constipation medication commercial. Wonder why we're getting so many of these. Are we expecting an outbreak of constipation? I don't know.
The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach-area pain, and swelling. Change something into IBS-C. If your constipation and belly pain keeps coming back, tell your doctor and say yes to Linzess.
Fast asked. Bianca Belair. Last seen accusing Zelina Vega of poisoning. I think she's racing against Slapjack. That guy's got a real revolver. Never mind. Didn't even make any noise when he shot it. She's racing Pineapple Pete, I think, and Slapjack. They're the slowest two people in the world that she's racing. So this is basically what we saw with the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, where they're just doing random track and field events to see who's best, except it's just Bianca Belair versus random people. We don't know who they are. The EST of WWE, Bianca Belair.
I knew Bianca Belair was all American track and field. I don't know if she was that fast. Absolutely. Bianca Belair, a great addition to the Terrible. Division earlier this year.
Not that. That was fine. It's nothing. It's fine. I'm just saying that it's terrible that it's 10:30. There's still 30 minutes left of this show. Retribution just flashed the lights tonight, didn't even show up. And yeah, there's still more to come. I have to survive 28 more minutes. Oh, Retribution.
This Thunderdome is home with the sun. Behind this mountain of screens is the same foundation, the same WWE as before.
Thunderdome is only a facade.
This family and this owned us. Even as to survive in an unfair world, will the powerful continue to grow, while we are left to feed on nothing?
They are left to feed on nothing. Yeah, I wonder why. Because they're Dominic Dijakovic, ex-announcer Dio Madden, Mercedes Martinez, and Mia Yim, and Slapjack. Maybe that's why. So we're gonna beat up the random people that stand around ringside behind the glass. Mysterio, Zelina. For some reason, they're destroying SmackDown's set, even though they're Raw exclusive. Oh, they're setting the generator on fire and chopping up the ring ropes with a chainsaw, beating up people backstage, just wreaking havoc. They look better in this promo than they ever have on TV. It's not really much of a standard to hold them to, considering what we've seen thus far, but yeah, just terrible gimmick with no payoff to this point. Just random people. We've already had a scare from Retribution, so I'm worried. Drew McIntyre versus Slapjack for the title. Do it. Do it. It's too much, folks. It's 2.5 hours. It's too much.
Someone who has not faced McIntyre before to step up and answer.
After this commercial. Six minutes to go in the Stanley Cup Final. Still 2-0. Tampa Bay. Sadly enough, I'm from the generation where Tampa Bay means Tampa Sweetheart.
Taking a ship and carrying it right back along again and trying to get back in once more. All around behind. And just come forward for the back off. And behind jostled again and taking the outside and twisted.
Dallas can't get one past Vasilevsky. Really past the defense, so It would be hard pressed to get 2 in 5 minutes unless they can pull something off. They're pretty quick. Still a commercial. Oh, Dallas almost popped one in. But we go to the final 5 there. Final commercial. 4.5 to go.
Did you know you can go to Liberty?
Nope. Not watching a Liberty commercial. There we go. Ryan Whitney and Paul Bisson at New Amsterdam Vodka.
Hard shot. Let's go. Okay. Cheers, guys.
And now, who's going to face Drew McIntyre? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
I'm not going to keep the people waiting. Who's ready to step up?
Who's ready to step up?
Nobody done?
No one. Oh, that's a swerve.
I guess we'll just talk for the next 10 minutes. Gonna be big shows. What we should see, how many good time?
Ziggler. Right. Yeah, McIntyre saying, which immediately comes to mind, it's for someone who's having their first opportunity. He's already faced Ziggler before, but Ziggler is showing up in a suit, so he must be introducing someone else. And indeed he is. Bobby Roode! He's back!
Now it all makes sense. It all makes sense why Dolph Ziggler approached Adam Pearce with a suggestion for a Drew McIntyre WWE Championship challenger. Oh, what a glorious day! Robert Roode has returned. A man who has never challenged for the WWE Championship.
Bobby Roode. Don't call him Robert. He's Bobby Roode. He's back. Oh, man. This calls for another beer.
It's for the WWE Championship!
Now, if they had fans in the crowd would probably be behind Bobby Roode after all his time off. And with his cool entrance and stuff. And he's got a beard now, so, of course. but because there's someone on the other side of the Thunderdome screen telling them giving the thumbs down, that's what they're doing. So, Vince McMahon's dream. Whatever I tell the crowd to do, they do. They listen to my every whim and they never turn on my faces. And they despise my heels, and if not, I cut their feeds. Come on, Bobby.
This is amazing. I think about it. Last night, Clash of Champions, Drew McIntyre went to the windshield of an ambulance, and here we are, 24 hours later, where Drew McIntyre is defending the WWE title against Robert Roode. Well, we know McIntyre and Roode very well. How does Roode proceed here against McIntyre? Well, I don't tell you,
of course, everyone knows Drew McIntyre will win this match. So, there's still 15 minutes left in the show. I'm just going to see if Tampa has eliminated Dallas yet. 2 minutes to go.
I mean, that's enough to wake anybody up. And that's exactly what you see Rockford continuing to go after that leg and trying to ground Drew McIntyre. Oh, and raking at the back, Joe, to the back of McIntyre. Crack the windshield of the ambulance courtesy of Randy Orton.
Dang it, Bobby, there better be a naked cheerleader under that bed. They're really selling that Drew McIntyre is injured. He's got a bad knee after kicking the ambulance door right off of its hinges last night. And also, he could be fighting with a broken jaw. They don't know. So, it's that kind of thing. Maybe it's like Braun Strowman, where he would just be terribly injured every week and just walk off with no medical assistance and like car crashes, getting run over by different things, and half the set dumped on him, and he's fine. Yeah, the ambulance, you got like Roman Reigns tried to murder him. That didn't turn him heel for some reason. Now he turns heel. Not when he tried to murder Braun Strowman. But he had a rig commercial, so let's see if the Stanley Cup game is still going. Dallas can't even exit their zone to get the goalie out. Under 2 to go. Doc Emmerich, of course, world's biggest Pirates fan, which is saying a lot considering how few there are now. Dallas is not going to win this. Minute 10. You can't get anything through to the net. Under a minute to go. They've got to get 2. Be nice if they got 1, just to make it interesting. 30 seconds or so. Yeah, they're getting in the lanes. They're not really getting good opportunities. They're blocking everything, Tampa is. So, 37 seconds left. Eloquist. Fatal. What? In many cases, fatal bleeding. Risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis. Oh my goodness. Who would take Eloquist?
What's around the corner could be worth waiting for. Ask your doctor about
I'm sure what's around the corner waiting for. What's Eloquist?
Tougher, fantastic job.
Oh, the cup is out. Dude's wearing a mask. He doesn't want to give the cup the virus. SARS-CoV-2, I believe. Formerly NCOV 2019. But then they decided it's kind of like SARS, but with various insertions made in a laboratory. So it's not quite SARS, it's not quite coronavirus, it's some chimeric Dr. Frankenstein hybrid. But luckily, I take my vitamins and say my prayers, brother. Yeah, Dallas just can't get it past this defense. Blocked again. That's going to do it. Tampa, 4 seconds. So Tampa Bay Lightning, 2020 Stanley Cup champions. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So good for them. They had a really great year last year. For a number of years, really. They've been a really strong team. Haven't quite been able to get over the hump, but kudos to them. They did it this year. Really, just a tremendous team and a great job. So that concludes this season, and see what happens next year. For the Pens to make a big comeback. Of course, once they were eliminated, I was hoping either Colorado or Vegas would win, but wasn't in the cards. Tampa was just a really tremendous team this year, and had faced Dallas, who had a great playoff as well, but just couldn't quite match up to what Tampa had. They needed their best players to be at their best, and they didn't really get that in the finals. So they had a good team effort and really strong. You could tell those guys played really well together. They were playing for each other and for their coach. But anyway, Bobby Roode taking it to Drew McIntyre. New champ. Will we see it? Can it happen on an open challenge on a Monday night in September? Could this be Monday Night Raw's version of an October surprise?
And we're continuing to target the legs. We're going after the legs. Oh, the right knee. Wait a minute. Hurtable announced this. Rude back inside and resets the 10 count again. Yeah, very smart and Rude. Rude cannot afford to allow this to end in a count out if he wants to lead Monday Night Raw as the new WWE champion. That one going up top. High risk here against McIntyre, who's backed up. And there's one on the clothesline. Down goes McIntyre. Sense of urgency to win the title. Kicked out by McIntyre. Right now, Robert Roode is systematically disabling the WWE champion.
Roode throws McIntyre in the figure 4 leg lock. Drew McIntyre screaming in pain. Got it locked in, center of the ring. Come on, Bobby. Oh, McIntyre's rolling him over. Turned it around. Still 8 minutes to go in the show.
now I have the damage done to both legs of Drew McIntyre in the last 24 hours. No way he's in good shape right now. Ziggler in Rude's corner. Ziggler barking directions. I don't know if McIntyre's going to be able to stand, and yet McIntyre's going to somehow find a way to keep his WWE Championship. Oh, give us a
McIntyre hits Rude with a headbutt.
Glasgow kiss headbutt. McIntyre trying to find a way.
Now a clothesline. Big suplex. Another suplex. Just tosses him. McIntyre with a kip up. Oh, his knee goes out. He's back down. He's in pain. Rude's got him up. Spine buster.
We're seeing how tough Drew McIntyre is, but you got to ask a legitimate question here. Is this the beginning of the end for the championship reign of McIntyre? Well, a night this has been here live on Monday Night Raw inside WWE Thunderdome. This time we have an open challenge issued by Drew McIntyre for his WWE Championship, answered by the returning Robert Roode. Is this open challenge going to backfire on Drew McIntyre? I'll look at the front side. He's in and out of recovery with the title. McIntyre trying to hold on.
Oh, McIntyre hits Rude with the DDT.
Here on Raw. McIntyre was about a half a second away from retaining the WWE title. So what a match. I mean, you have to wonder, how much did
5 minutes to go.
If he did not have the encounter that he had last night at Clash of Champions, would this match be over by now? And McIntyre back up to his feet, regardless of the damage that he's restored.
Oh, Ziggler pulls Rude out of the way. He takes the kick. Glorious DDT. 1, 2. Rude's got to hit him with another one. But not gonna happen. He's gonna go for it, and it's gonna get turned around into a Claymore kick. Robert Roode is biding his time. Goes for another one. Got turned around. Twirly bird thing. Goes for another one, and here comes Claymore.
WWE Champion Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. Still got 4 minutes. Plenty of time for shenanigans. If they wanted them.
You can't say that about this performance. McIntyre placed himself in a lot of fire. They created an open challenge. Welcome anyone who wanted to walk down that ramp and take their shot. McIntyre absorbed that shot.
Oh man. There's some janitor pushing a mop in a cart with gloves on. But he's wearing a mask and a hood down over his face. I have a feeling he's involved with the retribution. It's outstandingly awful today. Oh, he's pulling a chair off the back of the cart. He's going somewhere. To the ladies' lounge, Legends Lounge. He's going after Rick and the crew. Where he's locking him in. He's going to set the place on fire. He's jamming the door under the... It's Randy Orton. It's not Retribution at all. He's putting on night vision goggles, apparently. He's going to shut their lights out and smash them all with a chair. The look on Ric Flair's face. Oh, yep, lights go out. Just clearly smashing them all. An assault, a total assault. Lights are going to turn back on and they're all going to be dead. You just hear, the screen's just black. You just hear smash, smash, smash. And yep, lights are back on. And they're just laying everywhere. Fruits laying everywhere. Vegetables. Randy looks like Mark Wahlberg at the end of The Departed. And he leaves. Puts his hood back on. Grabs his cart. Points to the crew. He went that way. Which is back to the room. Raw goes off the air. Ah, hello.
Hello.